Hello and welcome to the Meet the Eatmons Endangered Species Podcast, where we like to inspire, uplift, and spotlight people that we think that are doing something special in the world. We're your hosts, Curtis and Spring Eatman, and we're excited to be here today.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So what are we talking about today?
Are we talking about? Well, the question really is, do couples earn more or is working together risque?
Risque.
Risque. I don't know. I just heard my
Like, are you
kid.
French?
I heard one of our kids say risque versus risky. I was like, that's a cool thing to do now, right? So, yeah.
Those I think are two different words.
Is it? Hey.
Yeah, risky is like gamble. Risque is like faux pas. Like,
hey, I was trying to be cool. So I heard my kids say it. I was like, oh, that must be how they say it now these days.
Is it
right?
the kiss of death? That's the question.
Is that really
right?
okay? That's what we're talking about. So do couples earn more? We're working together right now. I guess we're going to answer that question towards the end, right? But they always say like two heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to legacy, building an empire, building a family, all that, is it better just to do it as a single, or is it better to do it as a couple?
Yeah. And they say two heads are better than one, but they also say, like, working with your family is the worst thing you could possibly do.
They do say that.
They say, don't mix love and business.
That's a lot.
You hear a lot of people saying, like, oh my gosh, to be with them in the morning, then work together, then come home, then live together. It's too much.
Gotta see them all
day long. You'd be so sick of each other, right? You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
So what is it?
I don't know. We're going to find out right now. I guess we got some questions to go through. You ready?
Okay, let's get through
So
them.
first one is it risky, to mix love and business? Or is it the smartest move you can make?
I think it could be a very smart move to make because when you are working together, you're able to take all of your gifts and talents, abilities, and then you're able to put them together. And usually, not always, but usually couples have kind of a yin and yang mix, right? Like my strengths are your weaknesses are my strengths, and vice versa.
Yep.
And so I think that that's what makes couples working together really great, because usually the thing that you're good at is the thing that I could do something completely different. Yeah. And then putting our superpowers together creates a really powerful opportunity.
I like that.
I think absolutely. It definitely works for us. And I think people have this misconception of like, you're going to be with each other 100% of the day and all these things. But like when you're really running a business, you're busy. You're not sitting up under each other's nose all day. And
well, if you are, you're making no money.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And when you do it, there is a finesse to it.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that roles are very clear. Everybody has taken it like accountability and ownership for their own roles. So it's not like you're giving me roles that I don't want. And then being able to say, you take your lane, I take my lane, and we're not stepping on each other's toes and overseeing each other and trying to do that. Like we're absolutely just taking our role as the CEO of that role and going and then making it really happen. So I think that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
Because you're not up under each other all day long.
That's a big point, because you're saying, the yin and the yang, your weakness, I'll make my strength, and so forth and so on. So what happens if a couple has two strengths, all right, and they don't really balance each other out on the weaknesses? What would you suggest they do then?
You got to hire somebody that does have your weaknesses. Either
quick.
Somebody better learn how to pick up those weaknesses, or you got to hire somebody that is good at your weaknesses. Yeah. I always suggest hiring your weaknesses, because I feel like, the time that it would take to take your weakness and turn it into a strength, you could have hired somebody that it's already their strength and then make it be profitable, and you're just being better at what you are good at.
I agree. That's legit, because it's interesting, because I'm looking at some, research right here. It talks about Harvard Business Review. It says, found out that couples who run businesses together tend to outperform solo entrepreneurs because they have built in accountability, trust, and shared ambition.
And it's so true. It's so true because our bills together is the built-in accountability.
That's our report card at the end of the day.
It's like both of us are doing the checks and like, hey, did you do this today? Hey, how'd it go? How was your day? Let's sit down on a Monday. Let's go through our admin. Let's go through our reports. What was accomplished in your roles? What was accomplished in my roles? As a couple, you're consistently talking about those things. Whereas if you're single by yourself, you might be missing things and there's no accountability to you actually doing and coming through on that thing that you should have come through on. So it could just be overlooked and missed consistently.
Big. That's big. And, there's some couples that have proven like strategic partnerships in both life and businesses have like literally accelerated their wealth creation.
Yes.
Like who are some of those people?
Like Sarah Blakely and Jesse Itzler, right? And so we know her and him. I mean, they created together, but she created the Spanx. Jesse Itzler, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's got the Jed and the Zico coconut water and, all these amazing things. She's got those tennis shoe heels now and like all kinds of stuff going on. But they're always great. And then he has the big ass calendar. Have you ever seen that calendar? Yeah. So they're consistently helping each other become
I thought you were
better.
cussing at me, but that's really
no. It's literally called that. Like that's the name of it, the big ass calendar. It's like a calendar at a glance, the whole entire year.
That's cool.
And so, but together they built a family empire, and they're able to keep each other's checks and balances, and really help each other to encourage each other to grow, and kind of cross pollinate with each other's, resources and all those different things as well. Also, we've got Barack and Michelle Obama. Right? As we know, Barack Obama, he was, just a college kid when they met. He was not wealthy, all of the things, same for her. And so they went from, basically being in her parents' house to the White House.
What an upgrade.
Exactly. And today they have a multi-million-dollar media empire that they run together. They've obviously built a lot of success in politics, which very clearly she's also involved in. It's not like he's the politician and she's just the wife. Like they're both very clearly involved in that, publishing, leadership coaching, a lot of different things.
It's interesting because I know we tried to host him at one of our events, and he was doing another event. But every time we go on Netflix, right? At the end, the executive producers is always the Obamas.
Yes.
Like I'm always seeing them.
That's that's what I was saying. They have a multi-million-dollar media company now today.
Right?
Yeah, and I love it. It's like keep pushing it out because I love all the stuff. I'm always like, oh, that was them. Oh, that was good. They have like a very wide range of things that they put out, which I like. Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, that's another couple.
It's another one, right? And their combined net worth is over $3 billion. Like, I will trade your bank for mine for sure.
A B's a little different than him. That's for sure. Like, that's crazy.
Right. But it's not just their music. They also owned a lot of brands, right? Like they have Tidal, Ivy Park, Rock Nation, a lot of different companies within their fold as well. Chip and Joanna Gaines. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. I love them. Their combined net worth is over $50 million. Nice. They've created home improvement empire, right, with Fixer Upper and then Magnolia Network, and they have their stuff in Target and everywhere, right? They have all of their stuff everywhere, like they have their whole in Texas. They have like a whole like mill that you can go to and buy all their stuff. Okay. Then we also have LeBron and Savannah James. Yeah. Right, which he's known obviously
on the basketball tip, but Savannah's very loud too by taking care of the house, taking care of all the business aspects, meeting with Maverick and everything else that handles all his business endeavors.
Yes, so she's also very involved in their businesses. A lot of people I don't think realize that, and they have a lot of different businesses when it comes from tequila to pizza to schools. I mean, like lots of businesses that they have under their fold as well. That I know that she has a big hand to play in as well. And I love that he always make sure to highlight that she's such a big part of the success of their family. A lot. Yeah, it's not just him. He could easily take the credit because he's the spotlight. She's not really like the face of their conglomerate, but she's also amazing. But then also David and Victoria Beckham. Oh yeah. Right? Soccer and music. They came together, literally had a baby.
Very well put.
Right? A few babies, right? But then now they also have fashion and media brands, and they're over $1 billion empire as well. So there's a lot of examples of couples that work together and became something huge. And most of these people, they started at nothing, or they started off both having their own endeavors and then coming together and becoming, $1 billion companies together.
So, so many people say, well, don't mix love and business, right? But I just think that's broke advice. Clearly, when you look at what's going on, as long as you have a partner that you have trust with, that you could divide the roles effectively, and you both have the same ambition, your two energies together could not be stopped. So,
absolutely,
I think it's an advantage than a disadvantage for anyone that's really trying to win.
I agree. So, what do you think? Is wealth building a team sport, or can you get rich solo?
I think you can 100% get rich solo.
There's lots of examples of that.
Tons of examples, from Bezos to many other people that have all got rich on a... Okay, here we go. All right. What's your opinion on that? Yeah,
he had his wife. When he became Jeff Bezos, he was like, all right. But she helped him from the ground up.
Okay, and she got paid for it too.
As she should. Because she helped him build it. But yes, there are solopreneurs out there. I just don't know if I would necessarily
I get
say
you.
100% Bezos.
All right, who else would there be that's a solo?
Zuckerberg.
Okay, to a certain extent, yes. He definitely had help, but like as a partner, I guess you would say so.
Like he was by himself.
Yeah, he was definitely.
I mean, he created something. He had partners that he brought in 100%. To help build it. But of course, and that's what every smart entrepreneur is going to do. They're not going to just I'm just going to work by myself so I get all the credit, right?
But hope not.
That doesn't work. He didn't have a spouse or somebody that was really there helping him build it. Who else?
I can't. I really. Who's solo? Who's a solopreneur?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how we're so couple driven here. We can't even think of one solo.
Right? There's a lot of them.
I know there is. It might be you watching this as well. So post your name in the chat if that's you. Dame Dash built it. Yeah. Ye. Yeah, you can call Ye's example. He built it by himself. I know you want to use an example.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
there's a lot of
there's tons of people on the list, right? But we're definitely have a brain fart on the solo one because we're such couple driven. But post it if you know someone that we may have missed. We'd love to hear from you on that. But to go into it, I really believe that, if you are married or if you are, in a relationship, like how much your net worth can increase because two or more together can stop you. I think the research shows right here that married couples accumulate wealth at a rate of 77% higher than single individuals.
That's crazy.
77% higher.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go get married today. Some of you are like, man, I wasn't going to pull the trigger, but if we get married all of a sudden now I get 77% more increase in my income, my net worth. That's what the study says, right? Let's make sure it's the right one, obviously, because if you choose the wrong one, that can definitely hurt you. You hurt your will. That could be a negative.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But also it says here, a report from the Federal Reserve says that the couples who pull their income and financial decisions have significantly higher net worth than those who operate separately as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a big topic because with couples, I think sometimes people are nervous, especially when they first get involved, if they think one person is more financially savvy one person is more of a spender. Sometimes people are kind of hesitant to commingle their money.
It really is.
But there's the stats for you right there. Literally, the Federal Reserve is saying that that I was going to say companies, that couples that do pull their money together.
They are a company. A couple is a company.
They are.
They're a brand.
When they pull their money together, they have higher net worths. And I think that there's something to be said about the trust with that. We obviously have a system that we do that we like to help a lot of couples with 100%. As well, with how to do that effectively, how to commingle and how to combine your income without feeling like this person's spending too much money on this one, how that works. Typically having a joint account and then that money, all the income comes into that account and then there's two separate accounts and then you're able to separate into that. So then you have yours, I have mine, that kind of thing. And, we can go more into depth of that later. But I think that's something that's really important is for couples to have a plan for how they're going to commingle so then they can feel like they have a successful something that they can trust and something that they can be successful with. And realistically, it's like if this is a person that you don't feel like you can trust with your finances, it's like if you don't fully trust your spouse, then there's a bigger problem there than just your finances coming together.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah, because would you go into business with someone you don't trust, it's going to handle the money the right, then you're almost, you won't be surprised if there's embezzlement then at that point.
Yeah.
Right? And that can be a whole nother conversation. So yeah, choose wisely. That's what we say right up front.
Absolutely.
And when you start thinking about that, and I mean, this could probably contribute to the divorce rate as well. It's because they're not really choosing as someone they want to build an empire with. All right. So when you're not thinking about building an empire, because say you don't run a business, you might be listening to this and you don't run a business as a couple. That's fine, but you're still running a business, even though you're not running maybe a business for profit, because you're still handling a household. You still have money coming in regardless, because someone has to make money. If you both are, or one of you are making
it, the red or in the black,
yeah.
for your family, for your business.
Yeah, so you're still running some type of business anyway. So why not just put both your energies together and build something crazy together? Just find out what problem you want to solve, what gifts, talents, abilities you both have that you want to work together with, and go do it. So
yeah. I think, running a business together versus running a business as an individual, it's kind of like if you're playing a game like of basketball or soccer or whatever,
Yeah.
It's like, you can go out there and play 1-on-2, but you're probably going to keep getting scored on, right? Because the other team, they just have more opportunities to take more buckets. They have, if somebody's tired, the other one can pick up the slack.
That's
if somebody is, that other person is able to come in and score and help rally them when they feel like they're, on a streak of missing buckets. Like they can rally them and help them to get their morale back up and all those different things. So we just say, if you're going to be already married, why not leverage your love and allow yourself to create something that will also create something?
Why not? Yeah. And the last question for you. All right. Why do couples who build together stay together?
So I think that couples who build together stay together because, like we've been talking about, there's already that accountability. You're able to take each other's goals and dreams, hold hands, and go run after it together. So you're able to create a lot more movement forward, and you're able to be there for each other for the ups and the downs. When I was working a job and I was having a hard time at work, there was nothing you could do but rub my back. Now that we're in a business together and I feel like I'm frustrated about something in our business, you're able to come in and really help me to accomplish something more. And so I think that that's really a big deal. And also, if you look here, the University of Arizona found that financial stress is one of the leading causes of divorce, right? But couples who work together, they are able to reach their financial goals together, and they report higher relationship satisfaction and longevity, right?
I love that.
So it's really, really important for that. What would you say?
I mean, I love your point, why that is definitely contributes to a successful couple consistently building together. I think it comes down to really being the help. We think we said in the last podcast, either the helpmate or the help wait, right? And really being clear on how can I really help my spouse or my partner in what our endeavors are together,
right?
Because we both have the same energy going somewhere. So if you're going through something, I already know this, one of the 3 H's, right? Is either that you need to be helped. Guess what? We're doing the same thing together, so I can help you. Maybe you don't need to be helped. Maybe you just need to be heard. So the question is, all right, do I just need to listen to you? All right, because you need to get something off your chest, right? Do I need to hear you? Or do you just need a big hug?
Yes.
To get back to your central state. I mean, call it what it is. This morning we had something happened in the business, and I come in and I saw your state off, and I just said, okay, is it you need help? Do you need to be heard, or do you need to be hugged? I said, you need a hug. Get a hug. You're right. I didn't even ask her really. I told her she needed a hug. Come give me a hug, right?
Okay, that hug feels great.
Yeah. Now she's back, right? And now you go to your office, I go to mine, and we handle our business together, and we'll recap later.
Yes.
So that's the power of being in a relationship and running a business together, is that you're able to, again, to pick up where there is a weakness, and you feel a weakness. If you can help, you can hear, or you can hug it out, get back to your central state, and get back to winning that championship together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also when you're able to kind of tackle, different issues and create that accountability together, it's also helps strengthen your bond.
I agree.
It really helps you to strengthen your relationship, your bond, and you're like, man, we just took that on together and we overcame that. It creates such a sense of accomplishment, and it tightens you together, and it makes you feel even more like we can take on the next thing.
That's so interesting, because to me, like, when you say that, all like we took down this together, like, all I think about, whatever that problem is that you're facing as a couple, as a business, whatever it may be, that's like the Goliath, right? And we all know the David and Goliath story. And you got David, but then in this situation, you got like two Davids.
Yes.
Exactly. Could you imagine how faster a Goliath would have went down if it was two Davids versus one?
Right.
Yeah, because I'm powering my own right. You're powering your own right. So
right.
we both got to bring our slingshots to this fight, and they're just going to tackle a lot faster versus just you tackling it by yourself if you're an individual. So that would be the power of a couple versus your Goliaths, in my opinion. So,
I like that.
Yeah. Here's some other studies that we're looking at. It says psychologically that studies showed that when couples tackle challenges and achieve goals together, their bond strength is what you just mentioned, right? And then talks about Ramsey Solutions said that 94% of couples who discuss money regularly report a happier marriage compared to only 45% of couples who don't.
That's crazy.
Man. Most, and I'm going to call it what it is, most men don't want to sit here and talk about money.
Yeah.
They really don't, because they just want to go provide, protect, secure, provide stability, and they want to keep it pushing. It's funny, we talk about it quite a bit, is that if they have the greatest meeting when it comes to finances, you have to do either profit and loss, right? P&L, right? So making sure that you guys come together first, right? Have a good conversation so you can make sure you can accomplish that effectively. So have the conversation about money, because 94%, again, versus 45 is a very big difference.
Yeah. It's really crazy, because even when you look at the statistics, money problems break more marriages than even cheating does.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's really crazy. And so when you look at that and you realize that, that there's financial stress that comes into play, like how does that help you, or how does that hurt you? Right? Because when you're able to be on the same page and you're able to create solutions to your financial issues together and not blame each other, but help uphold each other to go make changes to it, you put yourself in such a different situation. You're able to build trust, you build discipline, and you're helping to build something that really can last. And that's so impactful. And it's like, love is great and it's important, but having financial freedom, that also will help increase your romance.
Wow.
It frees up so much of your marriage.
He said that's real romance, huh?
That's that romance.
Don't do that. We on camera. Don't look at me like that. All right. Well, I mean, and when I think about closing remarks, I think if two people together can build a life, why not build a legacy together?
I like that.
So I 100% believe that you have the right mission, the right strategy, and the right plan. Like, it's impossible for you not to win. Literally impossible. You're right. And you'll be unstoppable. So that's my thoughts on this.
Well, this was a fun topic, and hopefully you're interested in making money with your honey.
Yes, that's it.
But no, really, it's very important to really think about that and consider options, especially in today's crazy economy. Why not start a business, start something on the side, right? That's something we love to coach couples to do. But I will say this, as we're wrapping up today, I'm very excited for what you may have learned or thought about, or at least it's opening up a conversation for you and your spouse to think about what ways can we increase our financials together, and how can we take on these topics together instead of apart or individually, right? But, like any endangered species, we want you to understand that your survival is not just important, but it's actually something that's vital. A must. Yeah. It's vital. It's a has to be, right? So anyways, come join us again next time. We hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments or anything, leave them at the bottom. We like to see what your comments are. We'll see you next time. Bye.